message they want to convey to you is state power will always win. We'll paint you as a child molester, and we'll paint you as a methamphetamine manufacturer. We'll say any lie we want over our propaganda machine, the mainstream media, and we'll burn you and your children in your fucking home. So you just be apathetic, America. You stay docile, and don't you ever forget, you're free to do what we tell you.
How's it going, everyone? This is Jordan from Below the Tension. This is episode 2, Mayday. Now, I normally do episodes on Saturdays, that's the plan, but for 2 reasons, I am doing an episode tonight. Number 1, I will be on vacation all next week, so I will not be here Saturday. And 2, there was just so much news that happened this weekend, and today I just had to cover some of it. You can follow me on Twitter at Slav Libertarian. That's where I do most of my arguing with beta leftists and out of their mind conservatives. And you can also follow me, like, subscribe, comment, The Slavic Libertarian on YouTube. The first story of the day: Seattle May Day March turns violent. Now, May Day, May 1st, is traditionally a communist holiday. What it means now is children cover their face with black masks and smash buildings and windows because capitalism. Seattle police used pepper spray to disperse black-clad anti-capitalist protesters. Authorities say they threw rocks, flares, bricks, and Molotov cocktails at officers during the rowdy May Day gathering. The clashes followed peaceful march in the cities earlier in the day for advocates for workers and immigrants. See, they'll always take a worthy cause and spin it and ruin it. They ruin everything. ANCOMs, anarcho-communists, look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. They're trash. Dozens of people dressed in black gathered in downtown Seattle Park following an earlier peaceful march, CBS reports. Demonstrators who did not have a permit from city officials, it's their First Amendment to gather. They don't need a permit, but not defending ANCOMs, but, you know. Then started marching through the streets. They carried signs, one saying, "We are the ungovernable." And the story goes on. There's a bunch of photos. They had billy clubs and Molotov cocktails and other weapons that they were going to bring the man down with and smash some windows of a guy who's probably just trying to feed his family, a little butcher shop or flower shop. They smashed them up real good, and they showed capitalism. Roberto Gutierrez, a 46-year-old immigrant from Mexico, was one of the immigrant protesters earlier today. He said, "We want them to hear our voices, to know that we are here and that we want a better life with jobs." Noberto, can I go to Mexico and walk and stomp around the streets of Mexico City or Guadalajara or any of those other places and demand a better life and jobs? How do you think your brethren in Mexico would feel about some American gringos coming down there, stomping their feet, and demanding everything from them, and also denouncing one of their presidential candidates? You think they'd like that? No. You get thrown in jail. You don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, moving on. In domestic news, and this next one's a real doozy. U.S. spy court rejected zero surveillance orders in 2015. This is the FISA court, the one that was promised that would rein in the NSA spying. 0, rubber stamped. The secretive U.S. Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court did not deny a single government request in 2015 for electronic surveillance orders. The court received 1,457 requests last year on behalf of the National Security Agency and the FBI. The total represented a slight uptick from 2014, when the court received 1,379 applications and still rejected none. The court, which acts behind closed doors, totally secret, nobody gets to see anything. My cat's in the way, get out of here. Acts behind closed doors and was established in 1978 to handle applications for foreign warrants against foreign suspects. Civil liberties advocates have long decried the court for acting as a rubber stamp, for government surveillance. The court modified 80 applications in 2015. See, that's what they say. We're not a rubber stamp. Some of these that we get, we modify them a little bit. They modified 80 of the 1,457 cases. That's 5%. And more than full-fold increase from the 19 modifications made in 2014. See, they're trying. They're trying to not take your rights away so much. The memo also stated that 48,642 national security letter requests were made in 2015 by the FBI. A national security letter is a type of subpoena authority used to compel internet and telecommunications firms to hand over customer data, such as web browsing history, email addresses, and subscriber information. So they're actually getting way more information on you than just that 1,400 or so requests. That's 10 times as much. 100 times as much. 48,000 national security letters. How do you even read 48,000 letters in a year? Talk about a rubber stamp. One NSL often contains multiple requests for information, such as a sequence of emails believed to be relevant to an investigation. Okay, 48,000 times however many requests within that. Do you really believe that they're reading every single one of these? Give me a break. The majority of the NSL requests, 31,862 made in 2015, sought information on foreigners, regarding a total of 2,053 individuals, the memo stated. 65% of the requests were for foreigners. So another 35% were on Americans. 35%. 35% of 48,542. Makes you feel good, doesn't it? They almost always accompanied an open-ended gag order issued by the department, barring companies from disclosing the contents of the demand to the customer. So not only is it a rubber stamp for information on us, but it also almost always comes with a gag order that they can't tell you that they got information on you. Yeah. Here's a little bit of good news. Conservatives in Congress urge shutdown of tax-collecting IRS. Yes. It is a U.S. taxpayer's dream. Make the IRS go away. And the largest conservative group in Congress is endorsing just that. The Republican Study Committee, which counts 2/3 of House of Representative Republicans as its members, called recently for a complete elimination of the IRS. Yes. The committee supports the idea, once confined to the fringes of conservative ideology. It comes from libertarianism. Such suggests it is widely accepted on Capitol Hill more than ever. Yes, the proposal takes a bold step for calling the complete elimination of the IRS. Tax collection and enforcement activities would be moved to a new, smaller, more accountable department at the Treasury. Yes. Democratic Representative Eli Cummings added that the idea sounded Trumpish. Donald Trump has not called for the abolition of the IRS. I don't know exactly what's behind that, why that many people within the establishment want it gone. Maybe it's just that unpopular. Maybe they want to replace it with something worse. It doesn't sound like it, but getting rid of the IRS and going, I'm an anarchist, so no taxes, but if I can go from 30, 40, 50% to 10%, I'll take it. Next story. Fears of Trump drive immigrants to become citizens. Ospina has spent most of his life in the U.S. after immigrating from his native Colombia, becoming ineligible for citizenship in 1990. But with Donald Trump becoming the likely presidential nominee, Ospina decided to wait no more, rushing the paperwork required to become a citizen. So, you've been eligible for citizenship for 26 years? And just now you want to get your citizenship because of Trump? Doesn't sound right. That rhetoric, immigrant activists and lawmakers say, is driving foreign-born residents to seek citizenship. So, because Trump says he's going to crack down on illegal immigration, that somehow makes permanent residents want to get their citizenship that haven't in decades? I don't know about that. To qualify, immigrants must have 5 years in the country, complete a 21-page application, get fingerprinted, blah, 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 taxes and fees. Ivan Pajero, citizenship coordinator for the Florida Immigration Coalition, said that immigrants laughed when he asked why now they want to become Americans. Yes, why now? Why now after decades? Doesn't make any sense. You know why, they said. We want to vote against racism and hate. They want to vote against Trump. They don't give a shit. They never gave a shit before. They don't give a shit now. They just don't want the guy in there that's going to crack down on their buddies coming over. He says immigrants this year are desperate to be part of the political process. You should have thought about that sooner. I don't get it. All right, that blows my mind. Why now? Why do you care now? Because some guy said he's going to crack down on illegal immigration? That's happened before. And why wouldn't you want to become a citizen in the first place, Trump or not? Isn't that better? Isn't that what you want when you come here? 26 years? Never crossed your mind? Maybe. If somebody in the comments can tell me what's going on, is there some time? Because I looked it up, and taxes are supposedly the same. You earn income in America, whether you're a citizen or not, it's taxed the same. Maybe there's something that I don't know that they're not telling me. I'm not an expert on tax law. Let me know. Next story, AI to caption your photos for you. Isn't that lovely? A paper published by Microsoft Research describes an image captioning system that mimics humans' unique style of visual storytelling. Don't worry about it. We'll do it for you. This new research takes a step further by teaching a neutral network-based system to infer a story from several images. Don't worry. We can do it for you, don't think. Don't tell your own story from your own photographs. One example listed in the paper includes a series of 5 images. They show a family gathered at a table, a plate of shellfish, a dog, and images from the beach. The neutral network described the story as going, the family got together for a cookout. They had a lot of delicious food. The dog was happy to be there. They had a great time at the beach. They even swam in the water. Let the computer tell your story for you. It wasn't your life. That never happened. All right, on to foreign affairs. Africa's U.S. and Senegal signed defense cooperation deal. Mark my words. Right now, you have me on video. Look to Africa. Look to Africa. 10, 20, 30 years. Africa will be the new Middle East. On record right now. Mark my words. Anytime you see anything with the U.S. military or anything like that and Africa, note it. U.S. and Senegal signed defense cooperation deal. The United States and Senegal signed a cooperation agreement on Monday to ease the deployment of American troops to the West African nation to counter humanitarian crises, natural disasters, or terrorist attacks. So it basically streamlines troop deployment to that country. It sets out rights and responsibilities for future U.S. access to Senegalese facilities for joint training and possible troop deployments. Wow. It's almost like I know what I'm talking about. Foreign Minister Nayedi said the pact was the first of the kind in sub-Saharan Africa and would bolster Senegal's ability to respond to challenges. Senegal faces a growing threat from jihadist groups following a string of deadly attacks on neighboring countries claimed by Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. Noted. When does boots on the ground actually mean boots on the ground? Then this is a really good article by AP. I recommend everybody go and read the entire thing. No one disputes that U.S. military forces are fighting in combat in Iraq and Syria. Bombshell first statement. On its face. Except maybe Barack Obama. I like this guy. The semantic arguments over whether the American boots are on the ground muddy the view of the situation in which several thousand armed U.S. military personnel are still in Iraq and are in Syria. Obama has more than a dozen times said that there would be no combat troops in Iraq or Syria as the number of service members grows in those countries up until last week. And remember, a Marine died. He took fire. I believe it was in Syria. I'm not exactly sure, but if they're not in combat roles, why is a Marine dying in combat? So what does it mean there are boots on the ground in Iraq and Syria? Wouldn't it? Yes, it would. Secretary Ash Carter announced that some advisors would begin working with the Iraqis at the brigade and battalion level. They had been working with Iraqis at the division headquarters level. The change would embed those teams of advisors with smaller units, thus making them more likely to be closer to the fight. Remember when he asked for authorization in Syria to oust Assad, and now here we are 2, 3, 4 years later, and now we have ISIS, the great enemy. They have to go in there and extract. Why does the administration say that then there are no boots on the ground? Obama administration officials have consistently told the American public since 2013, yes, that there will be no combat boots on the ground in Iraq and Syria. Saying that there are no boots on the ground, while inaccurate, is meant to convey the administration's view that U.S. troops are not at the front lines of waging war. Boots on the ground doesn't mean boots on the ground. They're just on the ground everywhere, just not on that ground. Not the frontline ground. But they're on the other ground, though. But not really. Aren't special operations forces in direct combat in Iraq and Syria? Probably, yes, definitely. But the Pentagon doesn't talk about those highly classified operations. But those are not considered boots on the ground. That's not boots on the ground either, because they often move in and out quickly and do not stay for long periods of time. Boots on the ground. Alright, and I think this is our last story, yes. The CIA, after a 5-year delay, live tweets Bin Laden raid. If you believe that, it ever happened 5 years ago. The CIA marked the anniversary of killing Osama Bin Laden by live tweeting with a 5-year delay. Using the hashtag UBLRaid, the CIA blasted out updates from May 2011 strike as if it was unfolded in real time, in a highly unusual move for the secretive spy agency. It's all propaganda, folks. It's all bullshit, and it's bad for you, to quote the late, great George Carlin. At 1:51 p.m., helicopters depart from Afghanistan compound in Abbottabad. 3:30 p.m., 2 helicopters ascend in the compound of Abbottabad, Pakistan. 1 crash, but assault continues without delay or injury. 3:39 p.m., Osama bin Laden found on the 3rd floor and killed. Ba-bum. Yeah, action movie. The CIA's Twitter move got quite a bit of attention, but not everyone was enthused. At CIA, are we tweeting Hiroshima next? Or is that in bad taste? One tweeter wrote. Another, Amber V, don't you have better things to do, like catch living and breathing bad guys, or secretly invading our privacy or something? Amber V, you're cool. But others reacted positively. Watching the CIA relive on Twitter the Osama bin Laden raid today reminds me of how proud I am of all the women who do what they do. Thank you for that false flag operation. That never happened. No one never saw the body. And they killed all the special forces in that helicopter. They crammed them all in there and blew it up. Oh, God. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I needed to get, because I will be on vacation this week. I will not have a Saturday episode. And 2, I was at work reading all these articles, and I just had to say something about them. So, like I said, follow me on Twitter at SlavLibertarian. Please comment, like, subscribe to my channel. I will be doing updates weekly. As I said, Saturday will not be an episode. I did it today. And thank you guys for watching.